Okay, for this section, right, I'm going to introduce you three algebraic formulas. Sometimes they don't call it algebraic formulas. They call it algebraic identities, or also can't remember what other name they are talking about. So they can call it differently, but it will be the same formula. So there are three formulas. So you will need to memorize the three formulas. So the first formula is for a plus b. So you decide to do a square for a plus b. So they came out with this formula. Okay, so if you are interested how they came out with this formula, okay, I can show you a tiny part here first. So how do they come up with this formula? So the idea of a plus b square is the same as a plus b, a plus b. That means the bracket is repeated twice. So what they do will be, they do the arrow. So how the formula comes about, they do the arrow, like what we did just now in the previous example. You also do the arrow. Then when you do the arrows, you realize that these two are the same family. So that's how we achieve the formula. So the formula actually comes from the idea of arrow. Okay, so the same thing happened. A minus b squared will become a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So how do they come out with the formula? Okay. It will be a double bracket and you go through the arrows. Okay, I won't show you here. You can try yourself. Okay, then number 3, it will be the first bracket is a plus b. The second bracket is a minus b. So it will be a squared minus b squared. So how does this formula come about? It also comes from the arrow. It also comes from the arrow, whereby this part is cancelled away. So that's why you're left with this. So essentially, these three formulas just come from the arrow, because you put the double bracket and then you still can go to the arrow method. Okay, so it becomes something like an identity, and there will be application of this identity, which are quite difficult. Okay, so in a way, this formula replaces the arrow method. Okay, so for in this situation, so we'll be discussing this one in example, I think it's 7, 8, 9. So 7 to 9 will be covering this. This one will focus on example 10 and 11. The most difficult part is this one. This is the most difficult for most students. If let's say your algebra is not very good, right, you will struggle with formula number 3. Okay, so I'm going to focus on formula 1 and 2 first, on example 7, 8, and 9. So for example 7, I'm going to show you how do I use the formula first. And then for example 8, I will show you how to use the formula when you got fraction. Okay, so if you look carefully, for 7a, this is a plus. If this is a plus, I should be using formula 1. I should be using formula 1, and you can see quite simply, a is equal to x, and b is equal to 3y. So you decide that you're going to be using formula 1, and if you're going to be using formula 1, what's your a and what's your b? do you realize I put a bracket on my x and I also put a bracket on my 3y? So that is the trick that you will need to have. Okay, you must have the bracket. Or else you'll find that you will always get this part wrong. Okay, you must have the brackets and you replace your A with the bracket. So all the A that you are going to replace it with the bracket, B also replace it with bracket. So make sure everything is in bracket. So x squared. Okay, how do you handle this? You handle the number 2 times 3 is 6. Then x times y. This is the part where a lot of people make mistake. Okay, so I will show you the correct one first. The correct one should be 3y. So when you got bracket 3y squared. Don't know what happened to my iPad pencil. Okay, give me a minute. So when you bracket 3y squared, that means, right, it will be 3y times 3y. So it should get you 9y squared. So the correct one is 9y squared. Okay, those who got it wrong, a lot of people, if they forgot the bracket, that's what they do. So a lot of people, if they forgot bracket, right, then they will give me plus 3y squared. Okay, those who forget bracket, they will give me 3y squared instead of 9y squared. Okay, so please take note, don't make this mistake. If your algebra is weak, you will be exposed to this kind of thing. You will always forget bracket. You will always make sign error. So these are the things that you got to be careful to minimize any possible careless mistake. So in the next one, it's a subtraction. So if it's something, subtract something, I should be using formula number 2. And this will be my A. And this will be your B. So do you realize I bracket up my A and B? So I bracket up my A and B. So I will get A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. So again, right, you need to be careful with the bracket. With the bracket, it will get a 49Q squared. Those who don't put bracket, they will give me 7Q squared. So that's the difference between somebody who give bracket and somebody who don't give bracket. Okay, so please be mindful. Then you punch your calculator on the number 2 times 7 times 3. So that's it. That will be the how I use the formula. You are encouraged to go direct to the answer. If you can, try to mental and straight away give the answers. You don't have to show the working. So try to mental straight away, mental the formula in your head straight away, and then you give the answer. You are advised to be able to do that. But if you cannot give the answer direct, right, please write the working out, or else you end up making careless mistake. So where this thing happens in upper sec, you are strongly encouraged to go direct to the answer. Don't even need working. Okay, so we go on to the one with fraction. So it will be the same thing. If this is a plus, you should use formula 1 and decide your A and decide your B. Your A and B again must come with bracket. Okay, so I'm going to bracket. Okay, I think a bit no space. Let me do it that way. So decide your A and B already. Okay, present it into the formula. After you present into the formula, you simplify. Number times number, 2 times half is 1. Half y with a bracket square will get you a 1/4 y squared. So please remember, somebody who forget to give bracket, they will give me a half y squared. If you remember to give the bracket, in your head, it should be half y times half y. So please don't repeat this mistake. Okay, in part B, I'm going to be using formula 2 because it's a subtraction. So this will be my A, this will be my B. So A is equal to 3x. B is equal to 2/3 y. Decide your A and B. Plug into the formula. So as I plug into formula, all my A and B has bracket. Again, be careful. You will get a 9x squared. In this case, you punch your calculator. 2 times 3 times 2/3. You will get a 4. And here, you will get a 4/9y squared. So for these two questions, are you able to do a direct? It's possible that eventually you can do a mental direct. That means you don't need to show the working because you already have the formula in your head. So I encourage that you slowly build yourself up to be able to mental the expansion without writing out the formula. But if you need to start flow, of course, please start flow. We are going for 0 mistake. Okay, this is a plus. We will be using formula number 1. So A is equal to x. B is equal to 2/x. So write the formula. The first formula, a squared plus 2ab plus 2/x squared. Okay, this x and x actually cancel. So you are left with a 4. Here is a fraction times fraction. So a fraction square means fraction times fraction. So you are getting a 2 times 2 and a denominator times denominator. Okay, so when there's bracket and when there's squaring, everything can get confusing. So you got a lot of chance of making careless mistake. Okay. But first of all, you must decide the formula correctly. So this is a plus. I should be using formula 1. This will be my A. This will be my B. So my A is equal to 2x. Bracket your A. Bracket your B. So write out the formula. Your formula will be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. This will be a 4x squared. X and x can cancel. I'm getting a 4. Fraction square means 1/x times 1/x. So that will give you a 1/x squared. Okay, the last one. The last one looks like formula 2. It's a subtraction. So this is A and then this is B. A is equal to a fraction. B is equal to a number. You still need to bracket it. So formula number 2. A squared minus 2AB plus B squared. Okay, this one will be a bit confusing. So think about double bracket. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So this one will be a 6x over y. 1 square is just a 1. So even with fractions, you can apply the formula. And even with fraction, you can mentor. That means, right, for this 5 question, if you go direct to the final answer without showing the working, it is all right. Okay, so in fact, you are encouraged to do that. But don't try doing that unless you know that you won't make mistake. If you know that you are subjected to mistake, then please write down the working. Write down all the working that you need. Okay? So the green part is the working. The yellow part is your final answer. You can go straight to the final answer without being penalized. But if you're not able to achieve 100% accuracy, then don't try doing that.